Right. Hey everyone, this is GeoWill with Productions², and we are back tonight to do some more streaming for our plugins here. Particularly the Advanced Weapons plugin right now, but eventually we'll be going into those two as well. So, last night we kind of discovered a weird thing that was happening. Well, a couple weird things. First, whenever we were adding traits to a weapon, all the instances of that weapon would get those traits as well and the changes to the traits. And we also saw that there was an issue where there was EXP actually being added instead of removed. So I've actually managed to figure out both of those and fix them. So if you remember last night, I had mentioned that I thought maybe somehow, because of the way we were assigning the traits to the weapon instances, that might be the reason why that was happening. Then I immediately dismissed it as there's no way that could happen. That is what was happening. To give you an idea of how messed up that the whole thing was, the traits were even being added into the database weapons as well. So even the stuff in data weapons was being changed. That's how messed up it was. So to fix that, what I did was I just put in some more code in the weapon instance game instance weapon object to process the traits. So you pass in the traits, you loop through them, and then we create a new trait, save the values over to that new trait, then push that new trait into the traits parameter attribute, whatever they call it, of the game instance weapon object. And that seems to fix the problem. The other problem was because of this. So not specifically this, but because of how we were managing this. The way that this was intended to be used was to pass a negative value to subtract and a positive to add. Well, I wasn't actually sending through a negative value. I was sending through a positive value. So just to fix the fix for that was just to call that and then pass through a negative value. So just the experience times -1, wherever that was at. Yeah, I was up here. The change experience thing. Somewhere. No, not there. Yeah, it was supposed to be down here. Wow. Okay. Where was it? At the top. Yes. No. Maybe so. So we got EXP cost. Weapon change EXP cost. Where did I change that somewhere? Did I unchange it by accident? Maybe I unchanged it by accident. Let me see. Where are we calling that for? Let's see. This dot underscore, or this dot underscore wep dot change exp. That's the only place I'm calling it from. Alright, I guess I accidentally removed it, so we will add it back in. The other thing I've been trying to do this morning after fixing that was put in a gold window. As you can see, that's kind of in there, but it's not really 100% there yet. And there's also some issues with the drawing of them that's causing a bit of a problem. So what I'm going to do with this is I just want to take that, I just want to override the refresh, I think. Eventually I'll have to go through and maybe find a better window class to base this off of. Right now I'm using window selectable. We'll do it without passing anything, so that should maybe possibly work now. The other issue was the size, the window size. What I want to do is I actually want to make this a bit smaller. Well, if I do that, then we have to deal with the way we're drawing those items. I think. Because the way we were drawing those items is by the graphics or graphics height or not. So draw requirements, that's fine. Draw action items. So update rect. Well, maybe not. I thought I was using graphics, getting the entire size of the graphics for that, but maybe I'm not. So maybe we can change the size and not have it well, we'll see what happens. We'll just change the size of it. I want to pull it up a little bit. So that's a lot of room for this. Even with what we're planning in terms of like maybe item requirements here for certain things, the level up window doesn't need to have all of that. So maybe we can even just make it. Well, the other issue I have with this is that once we get to a sufficient amount of characters up here, it's going to be an issue too. Not that one. I meant to change the level window tag. Well, not tag, the label. For XP to remove that, so we get one extra character. I guess we could reduce the font size to 18. What else can we do to make this so it's handles a bit more, a few more characters than what it does now? What I was thinking about was changing this a little bit too, because if we shrink this down a bit, say make this 3 across instead of 4, and move it over a little bit, we could pull this out a bit. But at the same time, if there's a bunch of parameters being added in for that particular level, then that's going to be an issue with it running over stuff. And so I think it's just annoying as all hell. Let's go ahead and do the height change on this window, though. We're not high enough yet. Alright, window, create, blacksmith prototype, create, level up window, graphics height divided by 1.5. Let's make this 2. Let's make it half of the size of the screen. Now, let's go ahead and load this up and see what those changes do. Okay, gold is being displayed, but the window is friggin' huge. Okay. Yeah, that's really large, though. That's going to be a problem. So what we could do is maybe we could hide maybe we can hide the help text, the help window, and put the gold window up there, because we need more length on this. This is not, I thought this might work, but it's going to be, we either have to make this like 18 or 16, which is like this small, and I mean, I guess you can read it, but it's just kind of annoying. Or we can put it up here and give it whatever length we want to, and we'd also have other more room up here for other things like maybe like if you have like a weapon or item or something that you're requiring for something, put it up there as well. But at the same time, this is like a nice little spot for the gold here. I'd rather utilize this space than leaving it not there, which either means bringing this all the way down or putting something here. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like with the gold thing in there. Let's go, well, first of all, we need to go to create gold window, or party gold, or whatever I called it, up here. Create gold window. So, the height. Graphics height minus H. And H is graphics height minus graphics height divided by 1.5. Okay, let's decrease. Well, let's see. We want to take more off. So let's make this 2.5. There's probably a better way to do this, but... Whoa. Interesting, I did not know F4 made it go full screen. Learn something new every day. By pressing wrong keys. Well, that didn't work. No, less. We want less, not more. Crap. We want a higher value, not a lower value. That might be too low, though. We'll see. Well, maybe not. We're dividing by a decimal. Okay, yeah. That's like down here somewhere. You kind of see the arrow for it or something. It's like really messed up. Because it's graphics height minus H, too. That's the other thing. So well, see, the problem with this is that when we go to create this, because we need to create it for every one of these. And it would be easier just to create it up here instead of having to create it and then have like multiple ways of like doing the height and everything depending on the size of the window. I'd rather just have it down here, be able to make it and have it work for everything. So we need to figure out a different thing for Y, because graphics height minus H isn't working. Probably because this ended up making this a larger value. We subtracted it and it became negative or something. So how do we want to do this? So the height is, let's just say the height is going to be like 85. We'll give it an 85 and somehow the X has no semicolon. So now what what Y will be is the graphics height minus 85. And that's where the window will start at. Let's see. What's that look like? Okay, better. That's actually kind of close. That's actually kind of what I was aiming for. Now, what we have to do is... actually, we could probably do a little bit less, because this doesn't seem like it's centered very well. I want it to look like it's centered, so... we actually could go a little bit less, I think. Maybe 78. And then we'll also change the text size. Or this contents dot font size. We'll set it to 16 to start with, and we'll see what it looks like. And we'll also go over to the the slime and get some gold so we can kind of see what it looks like with an actual value as opposed to 0. Alright. So I guess that's okay. It's really small text though. Let's put it up to 18. Or actually, let's put it at 20. I think before it was the default, which I think is like 26 or 28. So I think 20 might be good. Question is now, what about with higher levels of gold? What will that look like? So I only had 800 before or something like that, so we need to get more. So we need to click on this guy a few more times. I want to have at least 5 or 6 digits on the gold. It's not an unreasonable amount of gold to have in an RPG. And in fact, it's usually about 6 digits is about max what you usually will be able to do. Unless you're like just grinding the hell out of it. Well, it's more readable now. You might even be able to get to 22. So we got these here. Looks like there's probably enough room for another 3 there. So that would put you at 1,000,000. So I think we could probably do 22 without it looking too weird. And that might also line it up a bit better as well. Actually, wait a second. I'm going to go ahead and change this. It's kind of annoying just sitting there and like clicking it all the time, so. Or I was going to give 100,000 of each. Less clicks that way. My mouse has already been abused by clicking games. Doesn't need to be abused by this stuff. Alright, so go over here, then go over here once. Now let's go have a look and see what we have. Yeah, that's interesting. Property of 1 is undefined. What's going on? That was weird. That should not have happened. Oh, we selected the sword. That's why. There must be some issue with that in terms of the. So you could probably even go even more, because that's 6 there, and it's still pretty small. Okay, let's go to 6 then. So that's another thing. Maybe there should also be something in the note tag to have weapons that wouldn't be a part of the system. So it wouldn't be able to level up or anything like that. So that's something to consider as well. Alright. Okay, now this is getting crushed. That's what's happening there. So let's take this. There. I bet you I think it goes way over the edge now. This dot text. I need to switch all of them over to this. It's just a much cleaner way of doing the text width without having to futz around with it so much. Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's 26. I'm betting 22 is probably the max we'll want to do. And actually on the Y, let's go ahead and make that 5. Push it down a little bit so it's a little more centered. I don't want to make the window any smaller than that. That's better. Centered. Actually, it's a little bit lower than center now. Maybe 3. And it looks like it'll be a good fit for the size. Just to play devil's advocate, what if we have 1,000,000 gold? What's that going to look like? So I'm thinking about making a limit breaker, but I guess it wouldn't be. I guess you could use it with this at the same time, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more for good measure. Alright, so let's see, we should have 1,100,000 gold. That barely fits in the window. So depending on sizes, and actually we could actually get a little bit more in by taking the space out, which I think I will do. Good, so it's pretty much centered now. So that looks pretty good. You kind of see what your gold is, what's going to cost. Got your experience over here. Got the level, durability, all that stuff. So now to show that it actually does work properly now. Actually, I'm just going to get rid of all the breakpoints. Or of the breakpoint, I guess. There's only one of them. I said remove all other breakpoints. There's only one. Alright, continue. Oh, and I fixed the first window as well. I'll show you what I mean in a second. So, here we are with this one. Now if I come out here, we'll only have one weapon. So let me go grab another. So now we have our initial stats here. Oh look, no we don't. We have the same problem with the parameters now. I did not notice that. Now that we're actually correctly increasing them, yeah, we're going to do the same thing with the parameters. Damn. Okay. No problem. Just got to kind of re-engineer what we're doing with this. So, when we are adding the parameters, we are just adding them like that. So we'll need to do a process traits. Well, process params first because there's some stuff in the traits that will, like the param traits that will impact that. So this dot process params, and then weapon dot params. Let's get rid of that, and then we'll build that function. Okay, so parameters. How are these actually set up in this? Just need the break so I can get in here. So data weapons. Params. Okay, so they're in the same order. So 0 to 7. So we can just loop through them that way. All right. Wanted to make sure that was the case. So game instance weapon dot prototype dot process params and equals function db params. So for var that 1 equals 0, that 1 is less than so it would be db params dot length and then var parm equals 0. Parm equals db params I1, and then this dot underscore base params equal I1 equals parm. And that's all we have to do. That should divorce the parameter objects from each other and stick them only and make them only associate to the weapon that they're a part of. Anything else like that we have to deal with. So anything that's like a anything we're bringing in that's a some sort of object or an array that's not just not strictly a value. We'll need to do something like that for, I think. But I think that's the only thing. Everything else is pretty much just a straight value. Alright, so as you can see, the traits weren't there. That's the other thing, so that was fixed. So now, continue. So yeah, this window, I fixed this window. Actually, the level line can go up a little bit, I think. It's a little bit too low. Now, before this was all jumbled together in places. Also added the proper durability over here. So, next, what should we do next? I guess refinement. I believe that's the next menu option. Refine, yeah. So refining is going to happen once your weapon reaches the max level you set in the tag, and it's still haven't determined what it's actually going to do. And it's going to make so you'll have refinement +1, and it'll show up as Katana of Darkness +1 in any kind of item lists that you have. So like it would show up here as +1, I think, is what we'll make it, if it is a +1. But I'm thinking that it's going to, for every refinement level you have on it, it's going to improve whatever stats it has. So it's not going to give you stats, but it's going to improve things marginally for what you do have. So for example, if we went, if this was up to, let's go ahead and level this up to 10. Actually, screw that. Just disable that breakpoint. So we're at level 10 now. I can still level up though because except everything breaks. We didn't. Oh yeah, we have to. Let's do that. We need to implement the max level thing, so we can't do that. So I think it'd be better to have it disable this option. So that's on the action pane. On the wrong object. Wrong file, rather. Action pane, action pane. We went by it. Okay, here we go. So we don't actually have the weapon here, so we're going to need to pass it in so we can do this. Alright, so I'll make another parameter for wep. And I'm going to rename all the WEAPs to WEPs. And then we're going to say this underscore wep equals wep. Next, what we're going to do is comlist this one here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to check to see if this is, so if this dot comlist index equals level up then we're going to do our checks. So if this dot underscore wep dot underscore level equals this dot underscore wep dot underscore max, I know there's a max level. Did I not put the parameter in? Though I'm pretty sure there's one defined in the tag though. Yeah, max level. So what am I doing with that in the tag? If anything. If I'm not doing anything, that would make sense as to why I can't figure out what it is. Max level equals max level. Oh, okay, this dot max level. It is there. Guess I haven't used it yet, so it doesn't know that it exists. Because Sublime Text does not have anything like IntelliSense. So if it equals the maximum level, then we're going to change the font color to the same thing we do with the on the level window if we don't have enough gold or something to do anything with it to actually level it up. So we need to find that change text color. Or no, we did the opacity. That's what we did. It was hell getting home from work today. We had a major storm blow through and basically caused all kinds of hell. Traffic lights down all over the place. Sections of the city without power. It's insane, really. First big storm of our monsoon season. It decided to be a big one. And that was the last time I'll ever use big one. Well, I just did again. Oh well. So, where the fuck was I going to with this? Action pane, right. I went by it again. Such a small block of code. Alright, here we go. So, set this to there. And then we will do it back to 255 afterwards. Just going to reset that. And then on the OK, we have to also do that as well. So this dot index com list is level up. And then we'll do an else. Actually, no, we don't need to do an else. So what'll happen is it'll either hit here or it'll hit down here. Well, let's see. If it's level up and this is true, I guess we could just return. We can call it. We could use return to return it without having to do anything. So that's a valid thing to do. Though it doesn't. You wouldn't think it would be, but you can do it that way. So if is max level, then sound manager dot play cancel return. Else, they'll just come down here and do this. So let's have a look, see if that works. All right, that gives you 100K now. Forgot. Web is not defined. What the hell? Weird. Oh, right. We did not actually set the value to pass through yet. Would be nice to do so. So I think we'll do what we do with the other one, which for the level, which is just to get it through the I'll call it through the whatever I called it from. I think it was the status window. Not in the right spot. Yeah. So, action window. One more parameter to pass through. Okay. So now that should not be null. Damn. It is still null. Why is it still null? So wep is not defined. What actual line is it on? Maybe we need to check that first. 1056. I think that's in the yeah. Yeah, that's this. Oh, whoops. I'd have to put it in the right one. I'll have to put it in the right function thing. Okay, that should work now. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and let's actually do some other stuff in addition to that. So let's say that for every refinement that you do, you're going to get a certain amount of boost to your parameters, and that's just going to be something we'll set here as a static value. It won't change over time. Just every refinement, because you have to go through 10 levels. And so what will happen is that we'll need to add in a check so that we don't continually add parameters. Or well, maybe we'll continue to add the params, but we will not continue to add the traits. So we'll have to do it. Well, no. A refined weapon is a weapon that's already reached its maximum potential. You're refining it to, make it stronger. That said, I don't think we should allow it to increase the parameters once it's reached that maximum level. You'll just increase what's there, both the traits and the params, by a certain amount every time. So yeah, I think we'll do that. So, ref bonus rate, I guess we'll call it. Now it's got to be enough to make it worthwhile to refine it, but at the same time, it also has to be not so much that like makes it super powerful. This will be in the form of a percentage as a decimal. So let's say that we increase it by everything by 5%. No, that's too much. Everything by 1.5%. That might be too little. How about let's split it down the middle and say 2.5%. So 0.025. All right. So apply. So okay. One other thing we have to do now is on this window, we have to, if it's not this, we have to gray out the. So let's switch the conditions here. Because actually, based on the level, we have to do different things for different commands. So else if this dot comlist index equals refinement. I think it's called refinement. Or we just refine. Refine. So if it's refine, we want to go the other way. We want to make this 255. Now, else, if it's not the max level, then we want to do the same thing we did with this, but with this one. So basically, we only want to be able to refine when the weapon is at the maximum level it can be, and until that time, that option needs to be disabled for that weapon. So similarly down here, we need to switch these around. This underscore selection equals this dot underscore com list this dot index. I think we could use either one, we'll see. If not, I'll switch to the other one. The underscore index. And then window selectable dot prototype process. Okay. Else if okay. Now let's go over to RPG objects and add in that refined bonus. So, we'll just add it up here. If wep data 0 equals ref bonus rate. Then this underscore ref bonus equals, and we want to do the process final. Well, not quite. We want to do what we did over here for, I think it's the level up window stuff, to display the percentage change. On traits. So 100 times the value, yeah. So on this, we want to do the same thing. So 100 times parse. It's not really an int, it's a number. Actually, I have parse float, I think. Wep data 1. Now we need another function to process that. So game instance okay, so to process or refine, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply all the base stats and what if we did the add bonuses or the add params, whatever that is, because that's from the trait bonuses. Now it's got to be it has to be the base params. We have to modify those. So yeah. So we want to go for var I1 equals 0. I1 is less than this dot underscore base params dot length. Then this dot underscore base params I1 equals, actually plus equals, this dot underscore ref bonus times this dot underscore base params I1. For var I1 equals 0, it's less than this dot underscore traits. I'm not sure if this is quite what we want to do with the trait values though, because these are already like a percentage. So we're basically multiplying the percentage by another percentage. What would actually happen with that? It's a matter of curiosity here. Calculator. So let's see. So we have 1.3. Let's see, 0.35. Well, 50. We'll say because that's what it'll be for maxed out katana for the whatever it is. And I want to multiply that by 0.025. Yeah, it actually decreases it. Or no, wait, it would be plus equals. So 0.5 plus 0.025 times 0.5. So yeah, add on basically an extra percent to the chance. Yeah, that should work fine actually, I think. I think that should work perfectly fine. This dot underscore traits I1 dot value. Next question is, will this loop actually work the way that I think it will, or will we need to do something else in terms of like some other way to get the traits out of there or not? Well, I guess we'll find out. So when we do a refine, we'll call this function, it'll process it. So there's a refine value. Well, first of all, this dot underscore level, reset that to 1. This dot underscore ref level plus equals 1. Or we could just say plus plus to increment it. Okay, what else would we need for this? Durability would stay where it's at. Oh, durability. Would we increase the durability at all? Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. What should we do that or not? That is one of the main stats. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do that. It sounds like something we should do. Actually, maxter plus equals this to underscore ref bonus times this to underscore maxter, and this to underscore durability equals this to underscore maxter. Okay, what else? I think that is it. Alright, so that's changes for that. Over here now, when we are processing, so how about if we have it refined? No, we still need to level it up. We still have to level it up, but we won't get anything from it, so level up info. Would the durability still increase? No. So once you refine it, the only thing that will increase any of the stats is to refine it again. However, I do think that when we're doing leveling up a refined weapon, it should be a higher amount of gold that it costs to do so. So, that in mind, first let's put this all in a thing. Well, let's see. Weapon level. This is level up info. So where do we need to start? So level +1. I mean, we could run through this. I'd much rather at this point cut it though and say put this into the if statement for if there's a refine or not. Yeah. All right. So if this dot underscore wep dot underscore ref level is not equal or is 0. Then all of this happens. Those are our vertical lines there. So that all goes in. Still want to draw our horizontal line and things there, but then we want to go ahead and also do the same thing here. If I'll display nothing. Now, over here on the level up screen, if we have a refinement, what's going to be is the cost is going to be the cost times the cost plus the refinement times the refinement bonus. So to go over to the Excel real quick and show you exactly what I mean in terms of, well, let's see what it actually calculates out to. That'd be nice to know. So, so if we have a refinement, let's put this here as 1, 2, and to say there won't really be a max refinement level, so we'll just go to maybe 50, which would be pretty much the only way you get to 50 is if you just keep on refining it and refining it and refining it. It really wouldn't be worth it to do it probably because by that point you got to maybe 30, you'd be able to get a much stronger weapon anyway. So we got the refinement level. Now we need the EXP and gold cost. So equals EXP plus 0.025 times this. Or rather times it, not plus it. My mistake. Blah. There. That's what I meant to do. So it's not too bad of a thing there, as you can see. Alright, so just at the first one, it's not so bad on the first refinement level. Actually, we need to change that because this is going to go. So, L70 is going to be static. For these. Obviously, we'll probably round up on these as well, so, or at least do rounding instead of truncating on these. So you can kind of see how it's like the original on 12 here was 3909 and becomes 4006. On 20 it was 7402. Over here it's 7587. So it does go up gradually. So we said level 30, right? So let's do the same thing, except refinement 2. We need to make the D and the E also there we go. Instead of L on this one's going to be P. So let's say that you're on refinement 8, which is not particularly high, I don't think. Instead of P, it's going to be U. Or rather, not U, T. So you can see at T now, 175 becomes 210. So if we take this down, level 30, 12, 287 becomes 14, 744. So as you get up on the refinements, it'll increase that way. And also use that same bonus value to increase the bonuses over each refinement. So, where draw action item? There are requirements. So, if this dot underscore wep dot underscore ref level equals 0, else. So actually we have to do these as do them this way because we're gonna have two of these. So here's this and then this. Obviously we're just going to define them here as empty strings. Now if it's not 0, we want to do our formula thing there. So XP is, or rather other way. So times and times so our other way. Got the signs reversed. This should be plus, inside should be the times. Alright, so this underscore EXP cost, or XP cost. I could do this to the XP cost itself, and gold cost up here where we're creating them at, but well, yeah, maybe we should do that to make this, keep this less complicated. Oops. So we're not actually changing anything here in terms of like the coloring or the opacity of this. We're just changing the values of what these should be. So if this dot wep dot ref level now these are I want to truncate, we want to do rounding. So how do you round? So I haven't done much of that in this, in JavaScript, so oh, that's open. Let's see, JavaScript round to nearest. So just dot round. Awesome. So that's what we'll use, round. Instead of this, round. Oops, other one. Still want to truncate that. Is it math that round or just round? Math that round, okay, yeah. Figured. Okay, and that's going to be so eval that. Okay, let's actually do this. a even different way. So we'll always create them. But then if this is not 0, we'll do the other stuff here to modify them. And this way we don't have to do the eval exp form again. We can just do the do this. So math.round capital or lowercase, or doesn't it matter? They do lowercase, so we'll do lowercase. So this dot underscore XP cost plus okay. Same thing here, except for this is going to be gold cost. Now we'll use equals, because this will give us a fully rounded off number. And this is, yes, that should be equals. Alright, so we're doing that. Now I'll just do that automatically now with that. So, what else do we need to do for that? I guess we have to do the remove costs as well. Oh, never mind. That's already up here too. Nice. Okay, good. However, we need to do this differently. If this dot wep dot ref and all this. Because there's nothing to update if it's doing a refine. Or if it's been refined, there's nothing to update. Okay, now let's go ahead and make the refine window. So, let's see. How do we want to do this? Thinking about the status window. We want to use that for this as well. But how do we want to display the changes? So it would be the stats and the trait values times the bonus. Yeah, we could do that. So it would be any stat that's not 0 and any trait. So all the trait values should be over 0. So what we can do is we can grab the That's weapon list. We want to go back down to this. We want to first let's go ahead and uncomment that. So we're going to create the ref info function now. I'm just going to grab the level up info because that's going to be closest to what we want. So will be less modifications needed for that. So grab all of that and just rename it to ref info instead of level info. Level up info. Okay, so content's clear. Weapon level is that. We can just automatically set this to 1. We don't need any of these because we're not going to be adding anything new. We do need new parm labels though. So level 1, experience 0. Alright, we need to change experience back down to 0, and then this will have so we can actually just get rid of that entirely, just say 0, and then refinement plus 1. So weapon ref level, we don't need that because we're doing this for this. So traits. Alright, so we still need to get the traits. We still need to get the parameters. We'll have to do the calculations up here. So this got to get parameter name. So this is actually going to be, instead of that, it's going to be PID in this dot underscore wep dot underscore base params. Is not 0. Get param name. This dot sign true, and so okay. Well, let's create a var to start this. So var parm val equals this. Or a PID. That way I don't have to have all this crap all over the place. So we need to also do the processing for this. So parm val times plus times this underscore wep dot ref bonus times this dot underscore wep dot underscore ref level I want a math dot around it as well. You know what we should just do? So once again, it's getting kind of crazy because we now have to do math around on it. Instead of putting all that in each time, we'll just use finval. And now we have to do that for all of these. Not that big a deal, really. Just need to change a few things here and there. Change that to 1 since it's for the X parameters. I think I kept it SP params. Yeah, I did. All right. So durability. So var new dir equals this. Oh, let's see, math dot round. This dot underscore wep dot underscore max dir times oh no, yes, we still have to draw it then. Actually, no, we want the increase. We don't want to know the full value. So actually, we don't want to do this. Right. Let's fix these. We just want the amount of increase. I think those are all missing a parentheses anyway. Okay, so those are fixed. None of this other stuff we really need to deal with. Parameters traits. Write all the parameters, then the traits. So in this case, we're only working with the traits that exist, so we only care about traits, which we have set up here. So we get rid of the outer loop. And get rid of this. So, for TID, every TID and traits, don't care about that either. Oops, we do need to still draw the icon and other stuff. So we can't blow that away. But the chance has to change. So bear chance, new chance we'll call it. So that should equal math.round. So this is going to be interesting. We have to multiply it times 100. So that was going to be traits TID dot value plus yeah, so we want to display it in a percentage format. Actually, no, we don't want to have that. We want to go to the inner right away. This still has to be multiplied by 100. Okay, one more. And then just need to throw a new chance into here. Right, and that'll draw up the way it should. Don't need to have that because we're not checking that. Alright, that should be the status screen for it. Now we just need to create the scene changes, do the scene changes for it. Alright, so let's go ahead and copy this. So create your find window. This becomes false and the next one is true. Then this will be underscore ref wind. Okay, so first things first, fair width. So I think actually we'll just copy what we did for the level up window. the size. And then just underscore ref wind equals new window underscore so what is the refined window called? Oh yeah, it doesn't exist yet. Okay. Let's create some more. Synthesize, yeah. Oh, that was right. Yeah. Alright, we got our other windows we'll need for that. Now we can finish off our scene function for this. Create level up. Here we go, we're fine. So width, height, x, y, and of course this dot underscore pass to the weapon. Then this underscore refwind dot okay. Now, I guess we're going to add the other functions here as well. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing as we did on this one, on the ref level up cancel. It's basically the same thing is going to happen. We just want to hide the existing window, call back up the action window, then repopulate the weapon stat wind with the expanded data expanded weapon information, as opposed to the weapon level up information. So now up here underneath ref, with refine, we have create refine window, hide the action window and deactivate it. We want to refresh the stat window. We want to show the refine window, activate it, select and refresh, and then show the gold window and refresh it as well. Actually, just for, well, when we cancel on this, we'll hide the gold window. Well, on either cancel or underscore. Okay, so I guess let's save this and load it and see if we get any errors. Yep, we did. Alright, what do we got? So, argument list on 11D17. Oh, okay, so this closes that. Oh, we got one too many. That's the problem. Okay, no issues there. It's not with the syntax and the actual code. Whether or not it shows up correctly is a different matter. So in order to see the refine stuff, we need to actually get to the point where we can refine. So we'll need to level up to level 10 on our katana. Let's grab a bunch of experience and let's go have a look. Cool, refine. Ah, come on. It's not supposed to allow us to do that. What's going on? So the highlighting worked, but the cancel on the end of it didn't. Cannot read property of undefined, apply undefined, what line? 28. So our window up here is not being, yeah, so refine this dot initialize. Must have still been, well, that and because we don't have the window set up yet. The main problem is that shouldn't have allowed us to go through with that. Action pane. So why are you being a pain, action pane? Okay. So if weapon level equals max level, continue with this and then this. Else, if this com list the index is refined, so I think that index one isn't working. Like I said, we'd find out if it was working or not. So I think we have to use the underscore index. The way that worked, oh, that's because they were passing that one through. That one's a pass through up here from draw items. So that's probably why that allowed that to happen. Probably. Maybe not definitely, but probably. So let's just go check out and see. Sound manager is not defined. Awesome. Well, at least I went down there and tried to call the cancel, so we know that part's working. Okay. Grab some of those, grab some of these. Talk to the old guy. No, what's still? Oh, down here. I had it down twice. Wow. Okay. Didn't see the second one. I always should pay attention to the line number over here. It's helpful information usually. Oh, well, we got them both fixed now, so we'll find a third one. I can almost guarantee it. Yes, doesn't work good. So let's go ahead and level up. 2, 3, 4. And I'm noticing that we're not actually getting a level up happening here. Nice. Why not? We don't have a refine level on this. So if this .wep.ref level equals 0. Oh, that still has to happen, and I think this still has to happen. Let's go to update weapon. Where are you? Initialize members, initialize. Is that just a function out here somewhere? Oh, no, it's a game party function, right. That'll be up here at the bottom somewhere, I think. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Now what's up with the level? Oh, not the level up window, but the... No, yeah, the level up status window. So that's ref. So if weapon ref level is 0, do this stuff. So somehow... I wonder if it's... Well, if it wasn't defined, it would say not defined. Let me put some brakes in. Level up, do one there, one here, a couple down here. Okay, level up. Okay. Oh, right, ref level is the maximum. Ah, right. I remember that now. Let's go ahead and remove that from the tag, and instead that's going to become a... Where's that? Well, level for ref. We're just saying that's maximum level now. So whatever the max level is, that's the maximum. That's the level you need to refine. Let's go ahead and take that out of the out of this. Level 4 refine. And instead we'll just set that to 0. That is already set to 0, good. Get rid of refinement. only to change some of the stuff for the tags, so, or the labels over here. And then we need to take the refinement out of here, and we'll also need to move it out of these. We'll also need to add in its place a new one for the rough bonus. Okay, and then we need to do the load. Okay, so that's all good. Over here now, whenever we have refine, I'm going to replace with refine level. Seems like 1, 2 feet. There should be one more. Oh, there it is. Alright, that should do it. Okay. Except we were on a break. Let's go see what see what happened with our changes there. So refinement showing up fine. Okay, there we go. That's fine. Okay, now we're adding 2 levels at once. Crap. Oh, right, else. Or, no. Oops. Redo that. Undo that. And instead of that, we just take these 2 out of here. Since we need to update it for everything, that's fine. We'll just take those 2 out, and this will just get called once now. Okay. Okay, better. Much better. Not adding 2 levels at a time. So So 585. 581, yep, that's working. And then 90608. 908, whatever, yeah. So last level, moment of truth, refine. Awesome. Cool. And the level is grayed out. I didn't check to see if it would not let us do it though. So that's going to be it for tonight. Do some more streaming tomorrow, probably around 7:15, maybe 7:30. And what we'll do for that is we'll implement the refine window and the refine functionality, and see if we can get that done tomorrow morning. So we're getting there. We got the leveling up done. We got the leveling up. We got the level up stuff changing based on if there's a refine or not. Well, I'm assuming so because that stuff wasn't showing and it wasn't leveling up except for the level earlier. So the refine check is working on both the level info on the status screen and on the actual leveling up of the weapon. We've got the bonus in there. We got some of the stuff changed that we need to change from the changes to the note tag. All we have to do now is to verify that our calculations for the refine level up, refine window, info window are correct. Which we can't do until we actually implement the refine window. So moving right along though, next will be synthesize, then repair, and then the first version of this will be done. We actually don't need this anymore, so I can cut that out. The way I'm planning on developing this is pretty much with the other ones. I'll get it to a stable point with all the planned features and some of the commands and whatnot for it, and then I'll refactor it and enhance what's there, and then release the next versions. But yeah. Once we're done with all this, we got to go back to the weapon actor weapon stuff. So with that, we have to kind of Shanghai the weapon equip scripts functions to equip a game instance weapon, and then we have to test and probably modify a little bit the actor saving and loading code to load the values back into the actor from the save file. But we're getting there. I'd say we're probably about halfway through now. I did not think I'd be saying that only this far, and I thought it would take more, probably closer to the end of July to get to there. But this is moving right along. I think synthesize is going to be the most interesting one. Well, actually repair might be too, because we have to implement a weapon durability system. This one will actually take a bit longer because we'll have to go into the game battle processing and figure out what we want to do for like how much damage we want to put on weapons per attack. It shouldn't be that much. Maybe like a 0.25% or something per attack. But that could also that'll probably be a note tag option as well though, because maybe you want to have some weapons that are more powerful that will damage more quickly because of it. So yeah, I think that'll probably be a note tag thing. Synthesize is going to be the interesting one though, because we're going to basically be creating something from nothing. Creating something out of stuff into nothing, I guess. I don't know, that's the best way to explain it. The synthesize feature will actually create literal, purely instanced weapons that have no base weapon or object within the game itself. So just completely data, nothing underlying it to kind of back it up or whatever you want to say. There won't be a entry for it in the weapon database, so it's just going to be purely virtual weapon. So that should be interesting to implement and figure out exactly what we want to do with it. I think before I said that would be like all the stats from the donor weapon into the base weapon. And I think we'll still do that. It's interesting to see how to figure out how to handle completely new stuff, though. So I'm thinking I'm going to change it a little bit to say, I'm going to make a note here of this because I'll probably forget it later if I don't. Existing params and traits carry over 25% of value from donor weapon. New params and traits carry over so there wouldn't be more or less for new traits. I think we'll do more. So in that case, I'll make this 15, and this will be 30%. So for example, if a weapon that you're using as a donor weapon, you're synthesizing into another weapon, has a blind trait of 100%, then the blind trait on the base weapon, assuming that there's no blind trait on it, will be 30%. That's how that would work. And then you'll get 15% of the value if it does already exist. So you do increase the synthesizing does increase it a bit. Let's see. I guess it wouldn't create a whole entire new weapon. You would just take one weapon, basically destroy it in air quotes, and then apply the values to an existing weapon. So I guess it isn't going to be quite so crazy as that. Still, though, it will be kind of interesting to see how that goes. Or maybe I'll make it make an entirely new weapon that'll allow you to give it a name or something. I don't know. Where was that? Skyrim, yeah. On Skyrim, when you apply different kinds of elemental properties to a weapon, you can like rename it. Something similar to that, maybe. But yeah, so thanks for watching. If you watched it live, if you're watching on YouTube afterwards, comments or questions, leave them below. And if you haven't done so already, appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.